All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the program Spot On. My name is Jacqueline Adibija. On Spot On, everything as concerns us, our progress is of interest to us. And that is why today it gives me great honor to be talking about something that, in a country where consistency is really not given much priority, we have something for which Kaduna will be stopping come September 23rd and 24th. We will be having our investment summit. And believe it or not, we're talking about 6 years running. Talk about consistency. It's really important that we appreciate this fact that through it all, through all the challenges, we've had an investment summit back to back to back. And come September 23rd, it will be the 6th. Yeah, so let's talk about the investment summit, and who better to come talk to us than Nur Khalil. He is the Director of Investment Intelligence. Khalil, it's really, really a pleasure to have you in the studio.
Thank you.
You run around. I know how much you run around, trying to ensure that everything is just, on point. And honestly, let's talk about CAD Invest. Before we go into, the details, I'd really like for you to talk to us again about the dream. What was that? It was the first of its kind in northern Nigeria. It was daring. It was out of the box. It was something that people were saying, is this what we need? But still, there was that drive, there was that push. What was that driving force? Why did the governor, Malam Nasser Ahmed El-Rufai, think that this was something that he could do in the north, and not just do, but sustain?
Yeah, so thank you very much, Jackie. I think CAD Invest is just one of those many consistent things that this government has embarked on doing. Like you have mentioned, the administration of, His Excellency Governor Ahmed Nasser El-Rufai continues to, put a lot of emphasis on these things. The issue is this, right? The economy is the most important part of the state, right? If you don't have a full-fledged, running economy where everybody has jobs and so on, that's where you have all these insecurity issues and all that. So I think part of what we have continued to do, we've continued to make a lot of strides in this government. And I think the fact that you have CAD Invest, consistently, even despite a pandemic last year, is just part and parcel of that commitment that he has to the people, and that have elected him to, deliver on his mandate. And I think we have done, a great job, in the past 6 years for him to continue to do so. And CAD Invest is just an example of one of those things.
One of many things where we've seen consistency. Honestly, for me, it's been something watching it grow from the first one to the 6th that we are about to witness. Okay, so talking about the nitty-gritty of CAD Invest, what are some of the things that we are to expect come this 6th one? What are some of those highlights that we are to expect?
Yeah, so, in line with, the continued drive to push the boundaries and, set the pace, as Kaduna State, this year's CAD Invest will be will be delivered in another innovative way. Last year, we held the first ever virtual Sub-National Economic and Investment Summit. This year, we're going to hold it in a hybrid form. So be expecting, it'll be delivered in 3 key ways. It will be the physical way that we used to do, and then the Zoom approach, that's the webinar approach that we did last year. And then this time around, we have a virtual 3D platform. So it's just going to showcase, the Yaradua Hall. And then, you can click in, and once you enter, it has this virtual reality experience for anyone around the world. Yeah. And then you go in, you can either attend the event itself, or you can go to the virtual booths and interact with all the businesses that have, paid to be part of the booth.
Really?
Yeah, for the sponsors. So yeah, we're going to be the first in Nigeria to do it. So
we're another first yet
another
again.
First,
3D virtual,
Absolutely.
platform.
Yeah, we're going to have an app as well, that we're going to launch around, by Tuesday as well. It will drop. You can also access things like that. It's just for sustainability. So between this card invest and the next card invest, you'll be able to match make, do a lot of things with exclusive
Whoa,
content.
whoa! And it's mind blowing that not only are you able to attend, you're also going to be able, as a participant, to interact. You
Absolutely,
say with other businesses.
Absolutely, because the physical event will have a lot of COVID protocols and so on.
Right,
COVID is
right.
still with us and so on. So just so everybody is not left out of the experience, you could, at least the reach is even bigger now. So you could be in your apartment in New York, in Beijing, and you could attend Card Invest.
Impressive, impressive. What are some of the goals? What are some of our hopes? What are some of those aspirations, both for short term and long term? Because if there is anything that has been a challenge to governance in Nigeria, is the fact that one government brings a policy or something, and then when they're gone, the next government, just to make a point or just because they can, scrap that policy or whatever it is. So what are the short and long-term goals that we're hoping to achieve with CAD Invest?
Okay, so yeah, so like we said, CAD Invest is this business to business and business to government summit, that we hold annually and so on. I'd say, it has two cardinal objectives, right? One is to showcase Kaduna State as the premier investment destination in Africa. The second will be to provide a platform for government officials, policymakers, financial intermediaries, large-scale, small-scale, foreign and local investors. And I think the short-term goal, of course, would be one, it gives us a chance to highlight the comparative advantages across the priority sectors in the state. Two, maybe would say we get a lot of feedback from investors, in terms of how we can sustain the reforms in, providing an enabling environment for businesses in the state. Three, maybe I'd say, it provides us an opportunity to see how we can further deepen linkages between large-scale, small-scale investors and so on. And I think, it also helps us explore, innovative policy regimes, that can help us, incentivize these businesses to locate in Kaduna State. And I think the long-term goal, of course, would be your usual poverty alleviation, trying to give people better quality of lives, providing sustainable jobs and so on. So this year's theme, obviously, is themed towards a sustainable knowledge-based economy. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to leverage on human capital, intellectual capital, knowledge, innovation, and so on to transition Kaduna State's economy, going forward 2021 to 2025 with a select focus on the digital economy, economic value addition activities across the priority sectors, and of course infrastructural development that everyone can testify to.
Right. So pretty interesting things you've said there, particularly for me, the deepening of linkages between government and especially small and medium scale businesses. And then, of course, the knowledge-based economy. I don't know if we've invested much in that as a country. So it's really refreshing to see that once again Kaduna State is going where people would otherwise think, they're not old enough. They're not old enough to go, this deep into other spheres of the economy. But I'm glad that you're talking about this, and I hope that you'd be even elaborating more about this knowledge-based economy thing for our listeners. But, let's talk about some other stuff before we talk about that. Now, the maiden edition of this summit was held in 2016, if I'm right. And now this is 6 years. And they say there's no businessman that goes into business without profit. What has Kaduna gained from having the CAD Invest Summit for the last 6 years? This year, 6 years.
Yeah.
But what has been Kaduna's gain?
Quite a lot actually. Maybe off the top of my head, again, would say obviously it has improved the investment portfolio of the state. We've gone from little to no, investments. We had like a very poor, backward, moribund industries. Industrialization drive was just non-existent and so on. So I'd say we've gone from at least zero to about 2.8 billion dollars, in investment portfolio. We have about 1.037 billion in actual investments on the ground that have kicked off or in construction phase. We have about 1.7 billion dollars.
Say that again. What we have on ground?
On ground, 1.037 billion dollars worth of investments, and then we have about 1.7 billion in the pipeline, ready to kick off in the next few years and so on. So increased investment portfolio size. I'd say, improved IGR in the state. When the administration came on board in 2015, IGR was about 11 to 13 billion naira, and now we're number 5 in the whole country, number 1 in northern Nigeria. We have about 50.7 billion naira in IGR from last year. We're only 5th to Delta, Lagos, Rivers, and FCT, which is a remarkable achievement in of itself. And then I'd say we're ranked number 1 in the ease of doing business in the doing business report by the World Bank in 2018. This is thanks to the Ease of Doing Business Charter that was signed at CAD Invest in 2017. But we had all the MDAs come together to commit to a certain time to, reduce the days, cost, time, procedures that it takes for you to gain your permits, licenses, COVs, and so on across the state. And I'd say, obviously, it has provided a lot of sustainable jobs, for our citizens. And I'd say improved social and economic infrastructure across the board, especially in the metropolitan areas, Zaria, Kaduna, and Kafanchan. So, yeah, quite a lot of things.
Quite a lot of things, I tell you. And, we're talking about close to or more than $2 billion. More than actually. 2.8. That was what you said. 2.8. Almost 3 then.
Yeah, almost 3.
that is huge, in investment. And so the average person listening might say, how has this impacted me? How do I know that I'm being carried along? How do I know that, I'm being factored into the equation? How?
Yeah. So, look, we're talking about economic development, right? These are things that take time. So if I was sitting here at CAD Invest 2.0 talking about CAD Invest 2.0, I'll be talking about state development plans and so on. Same question would be, say, how can this impact me? What are you talking? You're just talking dollars and this. I don't really understand what's going on. So, you talk to the local and rural community guys and so on. So I'd say, definitely it has provided a lot of jobs. Just the African Natural Mines and Limited investment that happened in Kagurku is about a $600 million investment. By the time they're done and up and running,
that's the liquid iron steel,
exactly,
right?
Absolutely,
I was really excited about that.
That's
I didn't know that we could have liquid, steel.
Yeah, so that's some 21st century stuff. Going forward, it will help a lot in industrialization drive and so on. So when they're up and running, they'll provide at least 10,000 jobs. So that's just Kagurku, Kujeni, all the local environments. So sustainable job creation, definitely. Maybe I'd say technology and knowledge transfer. So once you're employed, all the R&D that these multinational companies have done or local companies gets transferred to the local community and, upskilling their people and so on. Definitely improve primary infrastructure across the communities. So once an investment is located in your village, maybe these guys have never seen light before. Now there's like power, now there's like roads, access roads all over the place. There's utilities, water, and so on. And obviously increase industrial linkages. So maybe you're like a farmer, and then these large-scale companies come into play. They now serve as the market for your products. So now you've expanded your market. You're selling more. You're living better. You can afford, better healthcare and education for your family and so on. And then, of course, they get to benefit from, these community empowerment schemes, the CSRs, that the community corporate social responsibility initiatives that these companies run. So they build schools, hospitals. They take care of the women. They try to upskill them as well. I know Tomato Juice and OCP Africa, a lot of all these companies are doing so. We tend to even bind them to do so once they place their investments in Kaduna State.
Can we talk about some of those investments on ground already? Because I know that there are quite a number of people that would say, is it not just Olam? Or, okay, now we know about the people who are bringing us this technology of liquidizing, steel. And like I said, mind-blowing.
Yeah.
But what are the others? I know a lot of people would say they know about Olam, they know about tomato juice. So apart from tomato juice and Olam, what other? Because let's talk about them so that people know that indeed, this we're talking 3 million.
Yeah, 3
billion, I beg your pardon, 3 billion, almost 3 billion in investment in Kaduna State alone is not just talk.
It's not just talk. So, so like I mentioned, maybe the first one would be the Africa Natural Resources and Mines Limited. That's a $600 million investment in of itself. Everyone knows about the Olam thing. That was about $150 million of investment. The tomato juice, she did a $10 million expansion with the factory. So it's not just the tomato juice that was just farming and so on. We have, in Digais, we have two industrial parks, right? So the one in the Green Agro-Allied Industrial Zone between Abuja-Kaduna Highway, that's where we position Olam. We have OCP fertilizer blending plant. That's a $13.4 million investment, that's going to kick off soon by the end of the year. We also have, what's it called, DPAN, the Dangote Peugeot Automobile Nigeria plant. So they'll be assembling Peugeots in Kaduna State. That's another big one for us. It's about a $10 million investment as well. We also have Barbados fertilizer plant. Also, we have the AMA.
So that's another fertilizer plant.
Another fertilizer plant. We have the Barbados. No, we have the, what's it called? AMA manufacturing plant, syringes and so on.
We're going to be having a plant for medical.
Absolutely. AMA, I think they're doing like
producing medical consumables,
yes,
syringes,
all those things.
Okay.
So there's this, what's it called? We did Mahindra, we did Blue Camel, we did. We have
Blue Camel is the one with the solar.
Yeah,
right.
They're parent. We're doing a lot of stuff with Blue Camel as well, and that's about a $3 million investment. We have the, what's it called? Mahindra tractor assembly plant. We did Infinera. That's like a multi-crop farming initiative and so on company. Off the top of my head, there's Arla. Arla is this huge project with the Dutch company. They're trying to sedentarize herdsmen around Kaduna State, which will go a long way in solving the insecurity issues that we have. It's about 1,000 hectares in size. It's a crazy $44 million investment run by Kaduna markets and so on. So that's one of the crazy stuff.
And these investments are going to, their locations are going to cut across the state.
Absolutely. So again, let me tell you, like, we have two industrial zones, right? We have one situated in Kaduna South. That's the Abuja-Kaduna Highway, Green Agro-Allied Industrial Zone. This has also been designated, or we're in talks with Africa Development Bank to be designated as a special agro processing zone. Then we have one in Kaduna North known as the Green Economic Zone. So we just signed a 15 billion naira PPP agreement with KK Kingdom to develop primary infrastructure there. It's located around Igabi, around where Tomato Jos and Co. The Kangimi side of Kaduna State. Around that axis, we have the 512 megawatt project that the federal government is running, Kudenda power plant, and then the state government will add about 84 megawatts that same space. Then, of course, you have the AKK pipeline running through that zone as well, across Kaduna, up to Kano, and then you have the dry port. Kaduna State was the first to have an inland dry port that will integrate all our businesses into the global value chain going forward, in line with the knowledge-based economy and export-oriented economy we're trying to transition to.
I must tell you, Khalil, that when I heard that there are communities already in Kaduna State that are running on independent power, I'm talking about electricity, I was shocked, pleasantly so. But I didn't even know that we had, gotten to that point where whole communities are running on power themselves. And so when you talked about, the Kangimi project, where you said, the government is looking at increasing our power supply. I was like, okay, so that this is already, things are going on.
Absolutely. We're trying to get back to the good old days, right? Where Kaduna State was this, industrialized state and so on. So not just that, we're trying to factor in the 21st century, right? Where, I could be, 85% of our population, or is it 80%, is 35 years and below. You have crazy youthful energy in this state. Have crazy potential, but we're trying to harness that potential. What the government needs to do is to have, direct, deliberate policies that are aimed at actually providing these jobs and services. Knowledge-based economy, what that would do would be, I'm sitting in Malali in my apartment, but I'm providing services for some guys in Russia, China, and so on. And it's already happening, right? We have a lot of brilliant young kids, across the state, trying to harness and see what we can do with them so they could be providing services for these industries that we're bringing in and so on and so forth going forward. So I see a lot of potential. These are things that, you require visionary leadership. And I think that's what, the governor has brought to the table. what it's going to do across the board. So even though it's leaving in 2023, the state development plan we're launching in CAD Invest is 2021, 2025. So we have that infrastructure master plan. We have the industrial plan as well. So these are things that are long term. If anybody sticks to this plan, Kaduna State will be light years ahead of any other state in Nigeria. Simply.
Here we are praying. Here we are praying that this is going to, outlive the governor himself and his administration, because indeed Kaduna State has woken up. That's the word that we've woken up from being a retirement town, and now you're talking about industrialization. Indeed. Let's go on a quick commercial break, and when we get back, we'll get more of Noor Khalil talking about the Director Investment Intelligence at the Kaduna Investment Promotion Agency. We'll be right back. You're listening to Spot On Invicta 98.9. Do stay with us. All right, welcome back from that commercial break there. Still with Noor Khalil talking about the Director Investment Intelligence of the Kaduna Investment that just skipped my head. Investment Promotion Agency, otherwise known as KADIPA. And we've been talking about the CAD Invest that is coming up in about a week. We're going to be having CAD Invest, and it is something that has been sustained for the last 6 years. We're going for 6.0 this year, and indeed it is something to be proud of, because indeed consistency is rare in government, and we pray that this continues even after this administration is gone. Coming back to you, Khalil, talking about investments in Kaduna, there was something that Kaduna was well known for years ago, talking about the textiles. I mean, we had the textiles, especially, this part of Kaduna was riddled with just textile companies here and there. It's sad to say that today those companies are ghosts of their former selves. And so the question is, while we're talking about investment, is Kaduna State looking at doing anything about the textiles?
1000%. So what we're trying to do there, right, as part of our mandate, is to revive all the moribund industry. So we've done a lot of privatizations, PPPs, around that area. So it will interest you to know that our Vice Chairman, His Highness Ahmadu Sanusi II, also serves as Chairman of UNTL, right? So UNTL is the United Nigeria Textile Limited. They do textiles and whatnot. So the state has invested in, consultants and so on to look at the CTG sector. So that's the cotton, textile, and garment sector, right? Let's look at it, what is happening, because really there's been this disconnect, right? It's not about, printing material on wrappers and all that. That's not where the industry is headed. We're looking at modern day garments, suits, ties, and, all these things that, are in the 21st century. So we're already in talks with them. Everybody knows the caliber, the kind of person our Vice Chairman is. His Highness is a super brilliant human being. They're looking at reviving it. So the way they're going to revive it is the location that they have, they're going to turn it into an industrial textile park. So what they're going to do is have the core business there, and then have, different businesses located there across the value chain, right? So this will go a long way, again, in providing sustainable job creation, because I feel like that's another labor-intensive type of business. So yeah, we're definitely looking at that, and I think, in the next few years, if, continuity is sustained, these are one of the businesses that we'll see springing up, and textile industry would be revived in Kaduna State.
That is amazing. That is a good one, because we have a lot of people who are still, and faithful listeners of this station, who have been crying out about, the textiles coming back in some form, the opportunity, employment opportunities that it gave at that time to many people.
Absolutely.
And it will do the same now. Absolutely. Now, for the ordinary Kadunan who wants to attend this summit, how can people register? Registering the word I'm looking for here. So how can the ordinary Kadunan who is a business person register to attend this event?
So you log on to cadinvest.org. As soon as you go there, you see the register button. Boom, you click it, fill in your details. They'll ask if you want to attend virtually or physically. Obviously, the physical attendance is quite restricted due to COVID and so on. And then you wait on the email, it prompts you, and that's it. Very simple.
As simple as that.
That's it.
Okay, so what can business people expect beyond registration? So they register, and then they're now registered.
Absolutely. So
what then?
Yeah, so we're even launching the matchmaking portal tomorrow. What the matchmaking portal will do would be, link you with businesses even prior to the Card Invest itself, and also, the B2G, so the business to government aspect as well. So are you an investor? You want to talk to a certain MDA, business-oriented MDA in Kaduna State, maybe a Kasubda, Kajis, or whoever it is, we can hook up the meetings there, either at the summit or virtually, you fix a meeting after the summit, for the sake of sustainability. So all these linkages and all these matchmaking activities would happen on the website, on the app, and so on going forward. So expect a lot of that. Businesses can expect to, when after they register, once we launch the app on Tuesday, I think, there's all these Play Store regulations and whatnot.
Right.
Once we launch the app, you'd be able to, access a lot of exclusive content even before the event itself. So again, we're the only ones doing this, but we're just trailblazing and you're alone at the top. So we're trying to see how we can continue to innovate. And anyone who has any ideas on how we can actually do better, everybody's welcome to chip in.
Amazing. So you're going to be connecting the ordinary Kadunan with MDAs. You're going to be connecting them with other
businesses
at no cost.
At no cost. But look, Kadipa doesn't collect any fees, anything. We're like a free agency. When you come in, you do everything. The services we provide are free. That's the whole point of having an investment promotion agency, and every state should copy this, right? When you come in, you don't want an investor spending XYZ amount in the facilitation process itself. It's meant to be easy, seamless, and it's meant to be, reduction in cost, procedure, and time. So there's no charge. None of that. Everything is free.
Okay. No strings attached.
No strings attached.
Just register.
Yeah.
You register, you can look forward to being connected with other businesses or even a ministry, a department or agency that attracts your kind of business or the MDA that you want to speak to. And Khalil, the Director of Investment Intelligence, is telling us on air that it's going to be free of charge. There is no cost, not until you get down to the nitty gritty of business.
Obviously, if you're paying for your permit and license, you have to pay. But before you do that, when we're facilitating the process, it's all free. That's the job. That's the job, is to provide a seamless, experience for investors, our citizens, foreigners, etc., whoever it is. You're coming to Kaduna State, there's a one-stop shop. This one-stop shop doesn't collect any fees. It provides a seamless experience for them, because we're the face of Kaduna, literally. If you come in and you talk to Khalil, and then Khalil is this nasty guy that exploited you, collected $10 million, you never come back. So, it's one of those things that I think Nigerians haven't really recalibrated to, because there's always a catch, I guess. Hence why your skepticism is
there's nothing free, even in Freetown.
Yeah, so
this is beautiful. This is beautiful, actually.
Yeah.
So, but before I open up the phone lines for us to have people speak with you, Khalil, or ask questions, walk us through, say for instance, I'm a Kadunan who has been farming ugu or has been farming beans for a while, and I've gotten to that point where I think that I'm producing enough to be able to have some impact, in the business sphere in Kaduna State. Talk to me. Talk to me like, I'm there, I'm listening to you right now, and you're about to advise me on how I can utilize CAD Invest to the greatest opportunity that I could have.
Okay, so part of the mandate again of Kadipa is to provide aftercare services, and this is about business retention, and expansion services. So, we're looking at all the businesses in Kaduna State. We're trying to see how we can help them stay here, 1, 2, and expand your business. So if I'm talking to someone right now, it's okay, you're farmed, you've done enough, you're doing good, you're doing great, returns are looking great. You want to now expand. So what do you need? Is it money? Is it you're trying to look for, a bigger land? What is it, So what we do is we link them, right? So these are the linkages I'm talking to you about.
Right.
So if it's an MDA related thing, it's even easier for us. We just contact the necessary MDA, come and have a meeting with Jackie. She's this great farmer. She has this and that and blah, blah, blah. is usually going to be done under the Ministry of Business Innovation and Technology. Again, we're the only state with this type of ministry, right? And then there are like agencies under that. There's the Kaduna State Industrialization and Microcredit Board, who deals with these SMEs. And then there's the Kaduna Business School as well. We do a lot with them. There's the program Cat Step running there, led by an amazing guy, Dahir Hussaini. We have a lot of that. So, when you come to CAD Invest, you get to meet all these guys. So if I'm talking to you now, I'm like, okay, come to CAD Invest, meet the Sterling CEO. Like, go and discuss the loan that you need. If it's not a loan, go and discuss some kind of grant with some donor agency that is looking at your type of business, right? And so many other things. So even if you're not attending physically, even virtually, like you send us an email, you're very responsive. Boom, you send me an email, khalil.khalil@kdsg.gov.ng. I hook you up or I link you up straight to whoever it is you're trying to,
What if it's an export business I'm looking at? What if I'm thinking about exporting? Do you have any business with that?
Absolutely.
With people who want to export?
Absolutely. So, again, I told you we're trying to transition the economy, right, to integrate into the global value chain, earn some dollars, some foreign exchange for the country. So what we do is, again, like with the dry port, we're very close with the Nigerian Export Promotion Council. We can link you up with all those guys. Whatever it is you need, you let us know. We try and position you into the right place, talk to the right guys, get the right financing that you need. It's all part of the services we provide for free.
I like the way you said for free.
No, no
like
catch.
Before I ask you again, for free, it is
no
for
catch.
free.
Yeah.
That's beautiful, Khalil. Really nice. Now, let's go to some of the attractions that we can look forward to. Who are some of our speakers that will be giving us a lot to talk about after the event? Because that I've seen some of those people that you're going to have, and I know that some of what some of those people are going to say is going to reverberate way after the summit. But you talk to us about that.
Yeah, it's we're in a very fortunate position. My ogas at the top are very controversial human beings. But we love them for that. They take the country forward. These are the kind of people we need in the country and so on. We're very privileged to be working close to them. So obviously we have the number one, the chief commander, our governor, His Excellency Governor Nasser Ahmad El-Rufai. Obviously he'll be doing a presentation, taking the crowd through what it is we've achieved, what we're trying to do in the future. We have the vice chairman of Kadipa as well. He'll be doing, he'll be a guest speaker. He'll give us his insights, the usual, His Highness Mahmoud Sanusi II type of insight, on the economy. Definitely going to have one or two controversial statements.
I'm glad you said that.
Definitely,
I'm so looking forward to that.
So the usual welcoming remarks, by our able deputy governor and our chairman of Kadipa. Then we have two keynote speakers. We have one Professor Celestine Monga. He's a visiting professor at the Harvard Kennedy School of Government. And then we have the president of Afrexim Bank. That's the Africa Export-Import Bank. He will also be giving us some insights on the, sustainable knowledge-based economy and so on. And then we have a lot of panels, man. We have 4 panels. We have one on AFCAFTA. That's the Africa Free Trade Continental Agreement.
Right.
I always forget the meaning. So that's going to look at, ways the agricultural sector could, key into that, tying into the whole export-oriented thing that I'm talking about. We're going to have one on the role of data for investments. So it deals mostly with investment intelligence. How do we provide the right sort of data for people coming into Kaduna State? What kind of data will they be looking at? How do we innovate going forward? And so on. We're going to also have one on, what's it called? MSMEs. So we're looking at digitization and digitalization itself across the board for them. And one other one that I forgot to think is MSMEs. The role of donor agencies. So we're looking at, all the FCDO guys. So that's the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office of the UK government, GIZ, ETC. What kind of support have they provided to the state? Because they've done a lot of work for us. Even the setting up of Kadipa was done by GEMS 3 and so on. So we're looking at how it is they provide value to, subnationals and going forward what it is they're going to provide. And I think there's the Skills for Prosperity program that will be launched as well. Yeah, and so many other things.
A lot to look forward to. I mean, Khalil has given us a lot to take home and think about, but we still have a few more minutes to ask him questions if we'd like. And just to say that CAD Invest 6.0, it is something to look forward to, if not for anything, the speeches that will be given on that day by our guest speakers. That's why I wanted Khalil to talk to us about some of those people who will be coming. But now the lines are open for you to ask your questions or, just make your observations about CAD Invest, the Kaduna Investment Summit. And the numbers are 081 40,000 989 and 070 87 800 989. Once again, that's 081 40,000 989 and 070 87 800 989. We're live on Facebook, even though the network is not exactly friendly. You can also go there and drop us a comment. I see Mubarak Jibril Malam Himma already encouraging us. Thank you so much, Mubarak. All right, so let's go take your calls this evening. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
You're welcome, sir. Your name?
My name is Abdul Hakim Muhammad Karabi Bako. I'm calling from here, Kaduna State.
You're welcome, Abdul Hakim, you said? All right, so go ahead.
Actually, I'm welcoming your guest, Khalil Khalil. Actually, he's like a brother to me, though when he's speaking, he speaks like a politician. But actually, it's not really a politician. I know him. He's a very straightforward person, very creative, very innovative, very productive person. He's not a politician. People may think that he's a politician. He is not.
Okay.
I've heard about the invention and the creation of the registration up to Kaduna State. So I want to know, Malan Khalil, is the registration including the SMEs, the small micro business, or is just the big business, the boom business you are going to register? And secondly, Malan Khalil, you are doing well. As a youth, you are doing great. I always have passion to see me like you. Actually, you are wonderful. Keep up, my brother. You are wonderful. Goodbye.
All right, Abdul Khalil, thank you so much. Okay. Yeah, Abdul Khalil, right? Yeah, Abdul Hakim. That's what he said. I said Abdul Khalil. Abdul Hakim. Indeed, that was not assassination of character, it was character endorsement. So well done, Nur Khalil. Someone says that you're not a politician, you're actually a straight arrow. But he did ask a very important question about small and medium scale businesses, the registration of them, and even the attention that you will be giving. Is it only to those who will be bringing dollars, or are you also concerned about even the roadside business person?
We're concerned about everybody, right? So the backbone of the Kaduna State economy, of any economy, is the MSMEs, right? And I think there's this misconception, with the CAD Invest and so on. I think when we project Kaduna to the world and we attract all these, dollars coming in, people go, oh, but it's $600 million, that's too much. I'm just trying to look for 1 million naira or whatever. So honestly, it doesn't matter, right? We're trying to, again, provide linkages, right? So we focus on the MSMEs even more than you think, right? And we continue to encourage them, but they feel, oh no, but it's just for big. It's not. In fact, we want more small scale businesses to register, come in. Let's hook you guys up. Let's make this state a better state. So don't feel like it's for this, it's for that, it's for everybody. CAD Invest for everybody. You're a student, you're a mother, you're a housewife. It doesn't matter. Register, come and see what Kaduna State is doing, how you can also key in, and let's move the state forward. And thank you very much, Abdullah. I really appreciate it. Very humbled. Let's get this day working, appreciating kind work.
He's actually blushing, Abdul Hakim. Khalil is blushing right here. Doesn't know how to take your compliment, but he's happy. All right. So just so many calls. I'll save my question until we're about to go. Hello, good evening. Unfortunately, the calls keep bumping themselves off. But I was going to ask, though, okay, so we still have another call. It's your call right now that is important. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Madam Jackie.
You're welcome, sir. Your name?
My name is Chika from Gwaningora.
All right, you're welcome, Chika. Go ahead.
You have said a lot, but, there's something you did say when you observed that there's a community that's running power, in this Kaduna State. So many of us
Uh-oh. Oh, Chika, I wonder what happened to your line. You said so many of us. I don't know. I cannot guess what you were about to ask. But the trials are going on. That's what I would call them. Like, trying out I mean, Khalil, this is you. You should be answering this.
That's what.
Talking about some communities that are already running on independent power, independent of KEDCO.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, and we encourage that, right? We encourage that. Look, we're looking at innovative off-grid solutions as well. Any company trying to provide those services, you come in. Let's look at the communities that don't have any power. Let's work it out. Let's do it. It's all part and parcel.
All right. So many calls. Let's take them. Hello. Good evening.
Hello. Good evening.
You're welcome, ma'am. Your name?
You are speaking with Mama Mustafa from Agua Sanusi.
Mama Mustafa, you're welcome. Go ahead quickly.
Please, I just want to ask one question. How can we be registered?
Okay, how can she register? Register,
yes. So you log on to cardinvest.org and then you
cardinvest.org.
Yes.
Okay.
You log on and then you see the registration button, you click on it, fill in your details, and that's it.
Okay. It's as simple as that. Cardinvest.org. Good evening.
Hello.
You're too close to your radio. Please step away. Hello? Well, you could hear me and I could actually hear myself in the background. When you're about to call, just step away from your radio set. Mama Mustafa, I hope you got that. Cardinvest.org. That's CAD, K-A-D, then invest, INVEST.org. cardinvest.org. Just type it on any search engine. Google it, like we love to say. Just go on any search engine, type in cardinvest.org. That's O-R-G. And then it will take you to that page and you will see a place there that says register. I've done it, actually. I've seen it. So that's why I'm so sure about that. Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Yeah, it's Chika is back.
All right, Chika, you're welcome. Please go ahead.
Okay, I was trying to make align with you in the area of publicity. The government is doing a lot, but I think that a lot of us don't know.
Okay.
We don't know, so we shouldn't wait for such a program, maybe annual program like this, to be able to publicize some of these things. We should have a place where the ordinary citizens will be able to access this kind of information. I'm surprised when I heard you. I mean, when I heard you mentioning some of those things, just like you did. Some of us don't know some of these things, and I think that government is doing a lot. Government should be able to bring that to the public knowledge. We appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Very true. Thank you so much, Chika. Well said. Well said. He talked about, some of these investments he did not even know about, so that is on you right now. You need to do more about, pushing yourself, putting out the things that you're doing out there for people to see. We're running out of time. We still have so many calls. Hello, good evening. Hello, we're listening to ourselves. All right, still taking your calls. Hello, good evening. Can you hear me? We're connected.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir. Go ahead.
How are you?
Your name? I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. Your name, sir?
Yeah, Mr. Luca Addo calling from Rabarido.
You're welcome, Mr. Luca. Go ahead with your question.
Yeah, we have had a lot of governments in this country. And when a government ceases to exist, another government comes in, and sometimes will actually disrespect what has been planned. That's to say, there is no continuity in governance in this country. So I don't know, with this beautiful program our Excellency is doing, is there any arrangement for stability after when he leaves office?
Valid question. Valid question. Thank you, Mr. Luca. Indeed, I myself had expressed something similar when we were talking about continuity. So many calls. Just you're going to wrap it up when you're going. Hello, good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
We're connected. All right, go ahead. Your name? Hello?
Gabriel.
Gabriel, go ahead. You're welcome.
Please, I want to ask, since the inception of that invest, what is the percentage of the job opportunity have they created?
Okay.
And he said that we are 5 in the north and 5 in the country. In the north, it's like Kano State is ahead of Kaduna State in terms of job opportunity. What are they doing about that?
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Gabriel. Is that all you wanted to ask?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you for your question. Did you hear him?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. So, can we wrap up the answers?
So on sustainability, right?
Yes,
a lot of
sustainability.
the initiatives, MDAs being created, Kadipa included, were created by law, right? So this is not an executive order. This is not by the State Executive Council. You can't just walk in and then one pen remove us and so on. So there's been a lot of that in terms of when they are creating all the initiatives that we're doing. And I feel all the plans, all the industrial plans and whatever it is that I've been talking about, they are in place. So it's now up to the next administration to either pick them up or, like he has mentioned, leave them on the side. So we feel, the citizens of Kaduna State will make the right decision in 2023 and vote the right government that will continue all these great things that, the governor has begun. Yeah.
Okay. So, Luca, talking about the last caller, talked about, what
opportunity.
jobs have been created.
Absolutely.
And then talked about Kano actually having more job opportunities. I don't know where he got that from, but maybe from personal experience.
Yeah,
so, talk to that.
Luca, you see, all the businesses we're trying to bring in, all the linkages and everything we're talking about, like I said, we're trying to transition this economy, right? The jobs, the industrialization, those are labor-intensive companies that are coming in to soak up all the, excess, I wouldn't say excess capacity that we have, people that are jobless that are on the streets. So yes, the whole investment promotion drive is geared towards providing these sustainable jobs that he's talking about. So wait a couple of years, before you know it, you'll probably be one of the beneficiaries of all these investments that we're bringing in. We're also trying to look how we can empower people alone, with the knowledge-based economy drive that I'm saying, where you're providing services to people in their apartments in London, in Russia, and so on and so forth. So a lot of opportunities will be created. If we have done it in IGR, we're going to do it in jobs, inshallah.
I love that. Indeed, we have a lot of brains talking about the knowledge economy. There are a lot of smart people in this town. But as you go, Khalil, can we ask, for those who are listening and probably want to take advantage of the liquid iron or steel company coming up, people want to apply for jobs and all of that, how do the ordinary Kadunans know when and where to apply for jobs like that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're even talking about it the other day at the office, right? I think there was even a council directive to Kadipa where we've created a job creation framework, right? So what we're trying to do now is to bind these companies coming in to actually, provide these jobs for the local community. So there isn't this legal binding thing at the moment. So we're trying to just at least institutionalize that. 1, 2, then Kadipa has to continue to do what that guy was talking about.
Right.
Continue to do more publicity, telling people what we're doing, because we had our heads down, we were just doing the job, and now we're coming out to say, oh yeah, everybody, look at what we've done. And going forward, before this administration ends, we're going to be doing a lot of those drives, and then we're going to be advertising all the jobs, be hooking them up with all the African natural resources. And
so people could actually come on your website from time to time to take a look and check for what companies are needing, providing job opportunities.
We're going to put that on our website and so on, because even the African natural resource thing, I had to put my email on LinkedIn, people hitting me up. I had to now connect them to the guys there, to get them the jobs and so on. So we're going to have to do that. We're going to have to institutionalize it. Just give us a month or so, we'll get this thing done.
So that means that what's your website again?
So the card invest.
The card invest is different.
Yeah,
yes.
And then there's kadipa.kdsg.gov.ng.
Khalil, all right, take your time, think about that.
Sorry,
it's
I talk too fast.
Yes, please tell us what your website is, so that after Card Invest, people can go on your website and check for these job opportunities from time to time.
So it's not yet up. Okay, so
but it will come up.
Yes, so kadipa.kdsg.gov.ng. And at the moment, if you're looking for any job opportunities you have seen and you want us to connect it, you can email me, khalil.khalil@kdsg.gov.ng.
Your email is, I hope it doesn't crash, khalil.khalil@kdsg.gov.ng. @kdsg.gov.ng. What can we say, Nur Khalil? It's been a pleasure having you on Spot On this evening. Nur Khalil is the director he's like the CIA of investment of investment in Kadipa. He is director investment intelligence at Kadipa, talking about the Kaduna Investment Promotion Agency. And Murphy's Rhymes is right here. He's about to uncage everyone. He will be taking the reins right after me. I did that for Jeffrey, but I'd like to thank you so much, Noor Khalil, for being here. Thank you. We do look forward to seeing you either virtually or face-to-face or on the 3D platform come CADINVEST a few days from now, talking about 7 days. 7 days.
Yes.
All right. It's been spot on this evening. Really get pumped up, excited about CADINVEST coming up in 6 days. I hope that we don't just sit back and snare and say, it's not real. Go and register so that when you want to talk, you will say, I registered and this, Khalil said this and this didn't happen. But don't just sit back and say, it's fake. Register and then let's push from there. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Stay with us right here, The Victorious 98.9.